everyone. On this beautiful day, June 9th of Tuesday, um, I'll be reading the Holy Bible and I'll be sharing, um, I think it's episode 7 or episode 8. Hold on for just 1 minute. It's episode 8. I'll be sharing episode 8 today of Tar Mama. And this episode is called Phantom Baby. But I'm going to get in the word of the day today. And first things first, how is everyone doing? I hope everyone is doing fine. If you're new here, welcome to my channel. Willa Kenny's channel. My actual name is Patrica. And on this channel, I will, read a scripture because I'm Christian. And I will also share stories of my own because I like to write. And I also will share stuff that happened on the news as well. And stuff that happens in real life, crime stories, anything, you name it. And I will also eat food as well. I will eat food, and I can also do a little bit of ASMR. But I don't think that I'm, as good as the other ASMR artists out there. But how is everyone doing today? I hope you all are doing great today. The sun is shining out. Weather looks beautiful. It's a blessing to see another day and be alive on this beautiful day. And I'll be reading in Joel chapter 2. Blow ye the trumpet in Zion, and sound an alarm in my holy mountain. Let all the inhabitants of the land tremble. For the day of the Lord cometh, for it is night at hand, a day of darkness and of gloominess, a day of clouds and of thick darkness. As the morning spread upon the mountains, a great people and a strong there hath, Lord forgive me, there hath not been ever the like, neither shall be any more after it, even to the years of many generations. A fire devoureth before them, and behind them a flame burneth. The land is as the garden of Eden before them, and behind them a desolate wilderness. Yeah, and nothing shall escape them. The appearance of them is as the appearance of horses, and as horsemen, so shall they run. Like the noise of chariots on the tops of mountains shall they leap, like the noise of a flame of fire that devoureth the stubble. As a strong people set in battle array, before their face the people shall be much pain. All faces shall gather blackness. They shall run like mighty men, they shall climb the wall like men of war, and they shall march everyone on his ways, and they shall not break their ranks. Neither shall one thrust another. They shall walk everyone in his path, and when they fall upon the sword, they shall not be wounded. They shall run to and fro in the city. They shall run upon the wall. They shall climb up upon the houses. They shall enter in at the windows like a thief. The earth shall quake before them. The heavens shall tremble. The sun and the moon shall be dark, and the stars shall withdraw their shining. And the Lord shall utter his voice before his army, for his camp is very great. For he is strong that executed his word. For the day of the Lord is great and very terrible, and who can abide it? Therefore also now, saith the Lord, turn ye even to me with all your heart, and with fasting, and with weeping, and with mourning, and rend your heart and not your garments, and turn unto the Lord your God. For he is gracious and merciful, slow to anger, and of and of great kindness, and repented him of the evil. Who knoweth if he will return and repent, and leave a blessing behind him, even a meat offering and a drink offering unto the Lord your God? Blow the trumpet in Zion, sanctify a fast, call a solemn assembly, gather the people, sanctify the congregation, assemble the elders, gather the children, and those that suck the breasts. Let the bridegroom go forth of his chamber, and the bride out of her closet. Let the priests, the ministers of the Lord, weep between the porch and the altar. Let them say, Spare thy people, O Lord, and give not thy heritage to reproach, that the heathen should rule over them. Wherefore should they say among the people, Where is their God? Then will the Lord be jealous for his land and pity his people. Yeah, the Lord will answer and say unto his people, Behold, I will send you corn and wine and oil, and ye shall be satisfied therewith, and I will no more make you a reproach among the heathen. But I will remove far off from you the northern army, and will drive him into a land barren and desolate, with his face toward the east wind. Toward the east sea. Lord, forgive me. And his hinder part toward the utmost sea. And his stink shall come up, and his ill savor shall come up, because he hath done great things. Fear not, O land. Be glad and rejoice, for the Lord will do great things. Be not afraid, ye beasts of the field, for the pastures of the wilderness do spring, for the tree beareth her fruit, the fig tree and the vine do yield their strength. Be glad then, ye children of Zion, and rejoice in the Lord your God, for he hath given you the former rain moderately, and he will cause to come down for you the former rain and the latter rain in the first month. And the floor shall be full of wheat, and the vat shall overflow with wine and oil. And I will restore to you the years that the locust hath eaten, the cankerworm and the caterpillar, and the palmer worm, my great army which I sent among you. And ye shall eat in plenty and be satisfied, and praise the name of the Lord your God, that hath dealt wondrously with you, and my people shall never be ashamed. And ye shall know that I am in the midst of Israel, and that I am the Lord your God, and none else. My people shall never be ashamed, and it shall come to pass afterward that I will pour out my spirit upon all flesh. And your sons and your daughters shall prophesy, your old men shall dream dreams, your young men shall see visions, and also upon the servants and upon the handmaids in those days will I pour out my spirit. And I will shew wonders into the heavens, and in the earth blood and fire, and pillars of smoke. The sun shall be turned into darkness, and the moon into blood, before the great and the terrible day of the Lord come. And it shall come to pass that whosoever shall call on the name of the Lord shall be delivered, for in Mount Zion and in Jerusalem shall be deliverance, as the Lord hath said, and in the remnant whom the Lord shall call. Chapter. Oh, I already have read that chapter. Yeah, well, that's what I read in chapter 2 of Joel. And I think I went to school with a Joel too. I wanted to do a quick review on this. This stuff right here, I had seen it in like a Family Dollar, and I would think like, oh, something that is about similar to pine saw. I was thinking that it had a similar smell to pine saw. It does not have a similar smell to pine saw. It is very, very strong. I know there's some people out there who love to use it, but it's just very, very strong. Very, very potent. Like, a little bit in some water will go a long way. Even the rinse water will have your whole house smelling just like this. It's like really strong, and I have used it before. I have also mixed it with pine saw, and it makes the pine saw smell even more stronger. It does smell straight up like if you had picked it out some pine straw from outside and made it yourself in like a bottle. Made your own pine cleaner in a bottle, mixed with some like warm water or something like that. or just smells straight like pine oil. Like it smells like the real deal stuff. I guess the stuff that was discontinued in the actual pine saw. But overall, I like to use the regular pine saw better. This is okay to use. It's just you have to use a little bit. I'm still not, this bottle is still like right here because it's just so strong. Like it's best not to, use a whole lot. But some people like to use a whole lot, so hey, more power to you. But overall, I just want to do a quick review. That is like really strong, and for the people who have used this, I wonder who the heck has used this. Because I've seen like plenty of videos of people who have, done sponge squeezing, and I like those type of videos, by the way. The sponge squeezing videos where they'll show the bubbles and stuff from the product. I like to watch the pine saw squeezing videos and the pineapple ones. And I also like to watch the lavender squeezing videos. And some people do it with plain soap bars too, and bleach. But the bleach be messing up them sponges. It just be straight up killing them sponges. Somebody soaked a sponge inside the water for about 24 hours. About like a full day. And like the next day when they checked it, that sponge, it just deteriorated. Like it started falling apart as soon as they picked it up. It was a sponge soup once they got it out of the bowl. So that was my quick review on that. It is really strong, but it's not a bad product. It's just really, really strong. And my nasal cavities is used to a scent like pine saw. And I'm gonna start with my story. The episode episode 8. Yeah, episode 8 of episode 8 of Tar Mama, and this episode is called Phantom Baby. The reason why I call them that is because it's a real phenomenon, a medical phenomenon that I have found out about. I've been found out about that like years ago, but like it's a medical phenomenon where like a woman will have all the symptoms of a pregnant woman. Like they'll have all the symptoms. They'll have nausea. Nausea/vomiting. They'll actually will see like a bulge in their stomach, like as if a baby is growing inside her belly. They will have extreme hunger, eating a lot. Nausea, hunger, bloating, bulging, all of the symptoms of a pregnant woman. But it don't be no baby there. Like that's an actual medical phenomenon, and I think they call it phantom pregnancy or something like that, or phantom baby. But the episode of this of Tar Mama is called Phantom Baby because Shelvonya had sorry for any background noise. Shelvonya had all the symptoms of a pregnant woman. She had all the symptoms. Like she was dealing with nausea and vomiting. Like she was like cooking some breakfast on the usual, scrambling some eggs in a pan, frying up some bacon, flipping some pancakes, and so she was cooking all of that. But all of that wasn't for her. Like she usually would be able to eat majority of it by herself and leave Alexis some to eat for himself. But she didn't want any. She didn't want any. She only drank like a little bit of orange juice in a glass. And like, Alexis, I made some breakfast. Some breakfast over there if you're hungry. Like you can go ahead and enjoy yourself. And Alexis was like, well, don't mind if I do. He grabbed a piece of bacon, and then he took notice that something was not right with Shelvonya. It's like she was really quiet that morning while making the breakfast. Usually it would be humming and stuff, or music would be playing in the background. She is very quiet, on this morning while cooking breakfast. Like, is everything all right this morning, baby? And then she'll say, yeah, I'm fine. And as soon as she drank like another sip of the orange juice out the glass, she got sick. And she had went straight to the bathroom to, spit up. And Alexis was confused. Like he had watched her go straight to the bathroom, like ran straight to that bathroom. He was like, I wonder what's wrong with her. She went straight to the bathroom and just, in the toilet, she had all of the symptoms of being pregnant. And when Alexis came back home for work, he just had an ordinary day at work. And when he came back home for work, he kind of had hung out with his friends, but he had told his friends about how Shelvonya had got sick on his stomach. And Ricochet said, well, it could mean that, it could mean one thing, she could be, pregnant, like any other woman. And Alexis said, ain't no way she's pregnant, like, because, personally within their marriage, it was, she haven't gotten pregnant. But Ricochet said, I don't know. I mean, she could be pregnant. I mean, you could ask her. And he said, you think Shelvonya is just going to straight up tell me that she's, pregnant? Then she said, she needs to tell you, I mean, you're her husband. And so he hung out with his friends for a little bit, came back home. Shelvonya was curled up under the covers just watching TV. She was not eating no ice cream. She was not stuffing her face with cookies. She just wanted to just lay there and watch the TV. Kind of like how similar she was with the worm diet episode. And if you haven't seen that episode, I would suggest you check it out if you would like. It's on one of the other videos. But also my allergies be acting up, so I might have to clear my throat. But she was curled up in the bed watching the stories and stuff on the TV, and he walked in and said, hey, Shelvonya. And she was like, hey. And they were like, you feeling all right? Have you been getting sick today? And then she said, well, she said she had threw up also at her job, because she works like at this desk job typing. And she said she had to get off early. When she got home, she also tried to drink some more orange juice, but got sick again. And Alexis said, wow, I wonder what in the world is making you sick on the stomach. And he asked her, did she eat something wrong? Did she ended up like making a weird combination in her belly? And Shelvonya said, no. So I didn't eat anything. I only had a glass of a glass of OJ. And Alexis said, well, that's strange. And he said, well, what about your your monthly friend? Monthly friend, aka all of you women should know what that means. She was like, she didn't, show up around. Yes, she missed her monthly friend for an entire month. And Alexis was like, wow, I didn't know that. Like, he kind of was getting a little bit worried. Like, I didn't know that. And like, well, have you told your mother? Do your mother and them know how sick you been on the stomach? She's like, yeah, I told Mama, and Mama suggested I should take a test. Like, I should go to the. Mama suggests that I should go like to the doctor and have some type of testing done to see if I'm like that, if I'm pregnant. And that's what she ended up doing. And Alexis said, yeah, I think you should do that too. And she ended up one of her friends ended up taking her to the clinic, into the area where because it was like different, like in that area where they lived at. They go like straight to the clinic. The early 80s, go straight like to the clinic to get a testing done. And Shelvonya, she had to sit in there for about close to 45 minutes. And but she ended up getting some papers back, and it was negative. She was not pregnant at all, and Shelvonya was confused. She kind of was hoping in her heart that she was pregnant, because she wanted it to be a mother, but she was like too ashamed to tell Alexis that, because she could tell that he was getting nervous and worried when he thought that she was pregnant, because deep down inside, Alexis was not ready to be a father. He was not ready to be, even though they are married, they is a young married couple, and he's not ready to be a father. He feels like he ain't getting paid enough with the job that he has, even though he has been working there for some time. You're just not ready. You know, like when you bring a baby into the world, it's like it's a big responsibility. You can't just think that it's gonna be a walk in the park and easy when you bring a baby into the world. You know, just like like when you bring a baby to this world, you got to worry about how you're gonna take care of that baby. You know, buying it clothes, diapers, formula, all of that. Doing the stuff that you're supposed to do as parents. And yeah. And Shelvonya was hoping that that she was a mother. She was hoping that it was a pregnancy, but sadly it wasn't. The doctor had explained to her that it was something like a phantom pregnancy, because she explained all the symptoms to the doctor. She was like, well, why in the world was I feeling, nauseated? Why was I, throwing up my meals? Why was I like really hungry, all the time? And I was, felt like I was putting on some weight. Yeah, it's like, why was I, feeling this way? Why I felt like I was putting on some weight and stuff like that. And the doctor said, well, your stomach bulging now. Have you been having problems with, gas being released? And Shelvonya said, well, yeah, I've been dealing with trapped gas. And the doctor was like, well, that could be the problem with your stomach bulging. So Shelvonya went back home disappointed. Her mom comforted her and let her know, like, it's going to be okay. You and Alexis one day is going to have a beautiful child. And then she said, but as of now, I'm not ready to be a grandmother. She said, I'm not ready to be a grandmother. Not right now, though. He said, but sooner than later, she said, I would be happy when you and Alexis, make a beautiful, child. I'll be happy about that. But, as of now, I'm not ready to be a grandmother. Like, she did her hair like that. And Shelvonya said, wow. And I was looking forward into, being pregnant and stuff like that. And, she told Alexis, she ended up telling Alexis. And there was this favorite spot that Shelvonya likes to go out to at their apartment. Like, on the outside of their apartment, like, say if her and Alexis get into an argument, or if she's disappointed about something or anything, she'll go to this particular area. And this particular area that she would go to, like, the fire escape area. Like, the area where you can sit out on this fire escape. It's like on them apartment buildings, and they have like the pairs of stairs that go like right along with it. You guys know what I'm talking about. She sits on, like, if you don't know what I'm talking about, look up a fire escape area, like on the apartment buildings or whatever. She sits on that area all the time, and a lot of times we just stare at the moon. Sometimes it'll just be her and Alexis, but she'll mostly be out there to herself. And she was just thinking about like how things would have been if she was actually pregnant and stuff like that. She was like really excited deep down inside. She was just kind of a little wary to tell Alexis because she didn't know how his reaction would be, and she also see how nervous he was. He went out there. He figured she was out there on the fire escape because he didn't see her laying in the bedroom. And he came out there and he said, well, you went to the doctor, what was the results? And she had gave him the paper. She had the papers in her shirt. She just handed it to him. Because Shelvonya was kind of a big woman, still. And she was able to stuff her shirt with money, not only money, papers, anything, pens, probably a jug of milk. And she handed Alexis, the folded papers. Alexis, opened up the papers, read it. It was like it read through it. And, she, like, started having tears in her eyes. She said, I really wanted it to be a mama. I really wanted it to have a baby. And she was like, I really wanted it to be a mama. I really wanted it to have a baby. And she had tears, running, down from her eyes. And, Alexis comforted her, like, it would be all right. He wrapped his arms around her, came from behind her, wrapped his arms around her, just held her tightly, and, kissed her on the cheek and the neck. And he said, baby, one day, Shelvonya, we is going to, have a beautiful child. Like, don't even worry about that right now. He said all that matters is, the only thing that matters is that you are right. As long as you is all right and you ain't feeling sick on the stomach no more and everything, he said that's what matters. And he said, you know what, we'll be, okay to, I kind of was thinking about that myself. What if you was pregnant? It would be nice, have a little junior running around the house. Alexis was started to think about it, like if he had like a little son. Because, most of the time, the men would be hoping for a son. Some men will hope for a daughter, too. But a lot of them will also hope for a son. And Alexis, around that time, was hoping, like, well, one day, when you do get pregnant, I hope it's a little boy, he would think of that in his mind. Like, I hope I have a son. Because, I want me a little junior. That'll be named after me and everything. Who will look just like me and everything. Alexis was thinking that in his mind. And he was just comforting Shelvonya. Shelvonya had a tear rolling down her eye. She kissed him back and she said, I really want to be a mama. And she looked it up towards the moonlight. And she asked God, she said, God, please bless me to be a mother. She asked the Lord. Like I said before, Shelvonya is also a believer of God. But, she wasn't the one who would, show off that she's a believer of God. Like, I'm a believer of God, and if the rest of you out there don't get yourselves right, you're going to hell. Like, she wasn't that type. But she did attend church, paid her tithes and everything. And she just said to the Lord that day before going to bed, like, I really want to be a mother. Can you bless a baby in my belly? Like she asked the Lord that. And sooner than later, her and Alexis will. But that's not going to come up yet. And this is basically the end of this episode called Phantom Baby. And God bless the women out there. God bless the women out there who is, about to, like, have children. Or who is mothers out there. God bless you who is new mothers. God bless you all. A baby is a blessing from God. A child's, birth. Children are a blessing from God. Children represents innocence and purity. It's just a beautiful thing. And of God's will, I have a video coming up, a food video. And hope you like, comment, share, subscribe, hit the notification if you haven't. If you're new here, welcome to my channel, Willa Candy's channel. My real name is Patrica, and on this channel I do eating. I'll do maybe a little bit of ASMR, storytelling of my own, and I also would share stuff that happened on the news, real life crime stories. I know I haven't done a video in a little while, but if God's will, there'll be more videos to come. And thank you to all the supporters, people who drop by this channel, subscribe, and just showing love, sharing with other people. I do not mind if you share with other people, and I hope that me reading the scriptures, it will encourage somebody, help someone out there. They'll get the understanding of what I'm reading. And I just hope you all have a great day. Be safe out there. Love one another. Treat everyone with respect. Drive safely out there. Because at the end of the day, it's a praying time. It's a praying time. Things is just not safe anymore. All we have to have in our life is God. One and only true God. Like we got to have the Lord in our life. Like I can't live a day without the Lord in my life. We got to always have God in our life. That's the reason why we're breathing. That's the reason why we have a pumping heart in our chest. We just a praying time. And I hope you all have a great day. Goodbye. God bless you all, and thank you for all the support. Bye-bye.